At first, I was trained to serve this country. Then I was sent to contain an accident locally. They said it's a standard mission, but nothing about it is standard. We are fighting some weird beasts out of this world. The creatures are an overwhelming force. The command called retreat, but not everyone made it out of Black Mesa. Fuck, the same country I pledged to defend is now trying to kill me. And what about the man in a suit? I saw him in a boot camp, then I also saw him in Black Mesa. I have to get out of here.
The year is 1999, exactly 365 days after the release of Half-Life 1, a company contracted by Valve. Gearbox Software releases a big expansion pack to this masterpiece, Half-Life Opposing Force. Yes, the same Gearbox Software that will later on go and create Borderlands. This time, however, we are not Rambo scientist Gordon Freeman. Quite the opposite, actually. Corporal Adrian Shepard, a member of the HECU. The same that was sent to clean up the mess in the facility after the resonance cascade. Thankfully, Adrian does not know this yet, as the orders are to be given upon arrival. But the arrival, as you might have expected, doesn't go smoothly, and we basically crash into the facility. After some quick steamy romance with Dr. Kummer, we need to find and regroup with our unit. In here, we are met with an absolute unit, Otis, an ex-mall cop working as security guard in Black Mesa. We also get our first weapon here, an iconic wrench. In my opinion, one of the less memorable additions to the game, as you're not really using melee anyway throughout your playthrough. In fact, Opposing Force adds a total of 7 new weapons. Combat Knife, Pipe Wrench, Desert Eagle, M249 SAW, Displacer Cannon, M40A1 Sniper Rifle, Barnacle Grapple, Spore Launcher and Shock Roach. Granted, some of those are replacements of the original weapons, for example Desert Eagle replacing Colt Python Revolver. But Gearbox Software managed to bring some diversity to the arsenal. I will touch on the weapons a bit later on though. Opposing Force is a good expansion pack, has built on the foundations laid by Valve's Half-Life. It introduces some new enemies, the so-called Race X, which I repeated multiple times on stream. I feel pity that they did not make an appearance in later installments of the game. Moreover, those creatures are not even considered canon. Which is a shame, as their overall design is pretty cool. Lore-wise, Race X is independent from the Beasts of Zen and the Combine. Basically, they just jumped to the opportunity which arose during the Resonance Cascade. We also can see for the first time male Black Ops operators who were absent from the base game. Fortunately, they do not jump around like their female counterparts, who by the way are still present in the expansion and are still as irritating as they were in the base game. Expansion pack understandably is shorter than the base game and clocks in around 5.5 hours, though it can be finished much faster. That of course does not mean the story is weaker, quite the contrary. It has been praised by multiple media outlets back in the day for having an engaging storyline. In a nutshell, we as Adrian need to reconnect with our unit, but once we arrive at the rendezvous point where the last Osprey helicopter waits for the remaining soldiers, a mysterious man in a blue suit stops us in our tracks and closes the hangar doors right in front of us. That forces us to find another route of escape. On our way we team up with few marines who were also left behind. Alongside our new companions, we learn that Black Ops unit has been sent by the government to kill the remaining HECU marines as part of their own cleanup operation. We also see 2 operators loading a nuclear warhead on top of the truck, which will become relevant soon enough. As in the underground parking lot, we see G-Man once again rearming the nuclear warhead which is disarmed, but now being locked out of the room where the package is, we can't do anything about it. Although G-Man seems bent on seeing the end to Black Mesa facility and possibly Shepard's life, he also saves us from a room filling up with acidic liquid. The consequences of warhead manipulation will be seen at the end of the game. Just as in the base game, we have some mandatory bosses on our way out. The first is a pit worm, which is dealt in a similar fashion to tentacles from Blast Pit chapter of Half-Life, and the second one is so-called Gene Worm, the henchman of Race X trying to come through the portal into our reality, which most likely would facilitate Alien's invasion even further. G-Man is actually not the only familiar face we'll see during our venture. There is one scene when we could see Gordon jumping into the portal in the Lambda Core, where as we already know he battles Nylanth. We actually can jump after him, but instead of landing on one of the floating platforms in Zen, we just fall to our death. Besides the new things you're going to encounter, there is the old and working formula of running and gunning, physics puzzles, and some heavy Half-Life bullshit enemy placement just to fuck with you. To the weapons themselves. As I mentioned before, some are replacements of the OG guns like Deagle standing in for a revolver, but with its own quirk of having a tactical laser, making it shoot slower but more accurately. Displacement cannon, which is basically Doom's BFG, while alternate fire teleports you around different places. M249 SO, a beast in itself, just mowing for the enemies. Although I found it way more suitable against late game large creatures. M40A1 sniper rifle, that can one-tap the majority of the lesser enemies. Alien Origin weapons are the league of their own. Besides being a useful tool in your arsenal, they were introduced in a lore-friendly way, showing that Black Mesa facility have conducted tests on them way before the incident. Barnacle Grapple is more of a traversal tool, letting you, well, grapple onto green pads that double as ammo source for your Spore Launcher. Spore Launcher, well, launches slow-moving splash projectiles, well suited for Race X shock troopers. Shock Roach is a replacement for the Swarm Gun from the OG, minus the homing projectiles. Another addition is that you are no longer a lonely protagonist, as throughout your way out you will be joined by other marines that have been left behind, most notably medics who can heal you and engineers who can utilize their blowtorches to open new passages for you. There are some other marine companions, but they do not provide anything useful besides firepower. Opposing Force is a blast of an expansion pack that lets you see the story of Half-Life 1 through the eyes of HECU member Adrian Shepard, and it's such a damn shame that Valve did not elaborate on this formula in future installments. Adrian Shepard has been in G-Man stasis for 25 years now. The Corporal is somewhat of a fan favorite, as there have been plenty of fan-made mods and even short-format movies made about him. So it would just feel natural to move his storyline forward, but then again, Valve's philosophy comes into play and they refuse to make any games unless there is something to innovate on. So, who knows, maybe we'll see Adrian in VR? Anyway, I highly suggest playing through the expansion pack yourself and immerse into being a hazardous environment combat unit member. If you like this video, consider subscribing to this channel and hitting thumbs up button. Again, if you would do anything differently than I did with this video, just post it in the comments section below, I really appreciate that. As you have seen, this video is way shorter than the video on Half-Life 1. The cause of that is because Opposing Force is, well, obviously shorter than Half-Life 1, and thus my video is shorter too. Keep an eye out for a video about Blue Shift, which I also played live on my Twitch and YouTube channel. I hope you like the format of this short video, as there are plenty of games that didn't have such an impact on me and I will probably make videos about them, but those videos are going to be shorter, just like this one. So, thank you guys again, see you soon.